Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhagavad Gita series. We will continue from where we left off in chapter 7. We will begin with Mangalacharan prayers first. I will share the screen. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All right. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita series. And I was going to do something here. Is the audio clear enough? Okay, good. All right. So yeah, we were continuing. Last time I was hoping to complete chapter 7, but we will complete chapter 7 today. And then we will hopefully start chapter 8 also today. There's not much left in chapter 7. So we stopped at 7.23. And yeah, we went into a lot of good Q&A, but let's try to keep the Q&A relevant to chapter 7 and not go into deep, Rasa Shastra. So, so we have to start from 24. So all of you have Bhagavad Gitas with you? Okay, very good. Please keep your Bhagavad Gita in front of you. So Lord Krishna described the core message of chapter 7 in 14th verse, 7.14. Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. That basically we are experiencing all these sufferings in the material world, and we are not able to experience Bhagavan because we are very entangled in Maya. Out of our own choice, we are entangled in Maya. And out of that same individual own choice, we need to accept Bhagavan. So we have accepted Maya, but we need to accept Bhagavan. So that is the change that is needed in us. And the reason or the method to turn towards Bhagavan is through bhakti. by taking shelter of Bhagawan and his devotees. And then Lord Krishna explains why do some people don't come to his shelter or the shelter of his devotees. And one big category or sort of is those who are, or one big category. Yeah, I'm not yet sharing slides. So one big category are those people who are attracted to quick happiness. Okay. So instant happiness. It is all about happiness of, okay, I'll just stop there. It is all about happiness, period. Happiness of whom, and whether the happiness is long term or short term. That is the main question. So happiness of the soul versus happiness of the material body, which includes mind and intelligence and our ahankar. So happiness, and we don't realize that the happiness of the soul includes the happiness of the body as well. So we prioritize happiness of the body, which is obtained even in a contaminated state in a instant manner through material means, and that is why one is attracted to Maya, to get that instant happiness. So Bhagavan says that one of the ways in which one gets that happiness is by worshipping the demigods or by asking for those benefits from the demigods. And that was the discussion of 7.20 to 23. But Lord Krishna says that those phalas, antavattu phalam tesham, that those phalas have a ending. That means they are temporary and they are limited. Both are synonymous, temporary and limited. And people they stay entangled in that cycle. Now, Lord Krishna is going to describe another category of people who don't take shelter of him. Now, these are not those who are attracted to material sense gratification or material fruits, but they are attracted to giving up the suffering of the material world. So these are the ones who are the jnanis, or the ones who want to attain liberation, but still they don't take shelter of Bhagavan. And they differentiate between Bhagavan and Brahman. Now, of course, we had a long discussion earlier about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And we also discussed that the hierarchy, Brahman, then Paramatma, and the highest understanding of the absolute truth is Bhagavan. They flip that understanding, and we will see what that means today. So, let me now share the slides. Okay. You able to see the slides? Okay, yes. Great. Yeah. So we are at 7.24 now, and it's this section is important. There is a lot of prevalence of this understanding. So even in today's world, though largely today's world is fixated on sense gratification, that's the maximum or the highest percentage, maybe close to 99%. But still, those even who are searching for some spiritual solution or understand that material sense gratification is not everything, a large percentage of those are in the following category. And that is the category of Mayavadis. So we will discuss a little bit into this topic today. So 24 and 25 are talking about this topic. Okay. So let's go into this discussion. 24. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mama buddhayah param bhavam ajananto mam avyayam anuttamam. So, okay, let us first understand the concept and then we will reconcile it with the verse, because this is an important concept. I want to explain the concept and use the verse as a justification or a substantiation of the concept. So it is very important to understand cause and effect. Okay. And we all understand, so everybody understands the difference between cause and effect, right? They are two different things, right? If a prisoner is in prison, that is the effect. The cause was that he committed a crime. Because he committed a crime, that's the cause. Now, today, the effect is that he is in jail. So that's how we understand cause and effect. And in this kind of a discussion, the cause is more important than the effect. That's why I have said cause is greater than the effect, in the sense that it is more important. Or in other words, if we want to control the effect or predict the effect, then knowing the cause or understanding the cause or controlling the cause gives us the access. If we control the cause, we can control the effect. Or if we know the cause, we can predict the effect, or we can know or do an analysis of the effect. So in that sense, the cause is higher than the effect. So in a lot of the spiritual discussions and philosophical discussions, this whole concept of cause and effect is very important. And we must always be clear what is the cause and what is the effect. So even though the impersonal Brahman, which we had discussed, and I'm not going to spend time discussing it today because we have already discussed it in detail, and Bhagawan are both the absolute truth. There is no difference in terms of the fact one is not different than the other, or one is not even in a different form or the other. They are both representing the exact same absolute truth. Okay, but what the Mayavadi understanding is the following: that the impersonal Brahman is higher. Okay, and I, or Krishna, or Bhagawan, I should have said here, I as in Mam is the word that is used there. Manyate Mam abbudhaya. So Mam is the word that I am the effect, which means that these people think, or some people think, that I came from Brahman. Brahman is the cause. And when Brahman was mixed with some Maya, and Maya, as we know, is material energy. Okay. So when Brahman, which is the absolute truth, it has no material component, it is completely spiritual. And when that mixes with material elements or with Maya, then we get Bhagavan. What it means, now this may sound like chemistry, you mix chemical A with chemical B, but that's the only way I have to explain. But in other words, what it means is that, yes, Krishna may be a very great personality, or Rama or Narsimha or whoever else, avatar of Vishnu, but they are similar to us human beings. Okay. So, which means that they have the same qualities as us, which means that they also undergo pain and pleasure. They also have likes and dislikes. They also, um, suffer, feel happiness, or have suffering. And they give so many examples, like Lord Ram, he was crying when his wife was kidnapped, just like us. When we undergo suffering, we feel sad. Or Lord Krishna, he steals, he does all bad things. or he tells lies to his mother that I ate dirt or I ate mud, all those kinds of things, or goes around, flirting with girls. So things like that are said about Bhagavan, and they don't realize that there is very deep understanding behind these things. We'll not get into that. But there is not much difference between Bhagavan and us. Or in other words, Bhagavan is subject. Whoever we call Bhagavan, whether it is Rama or Krishna or whoever, they are also subject to the same laws of nature or prakriti as we are, maybe to a lesser extent because they are more self-controlled, they are more powerful, and so on. So that is called as the Mayavadi theory or the Mayavadi understanding. So that is what is coming out in the first two lines. That avyaktam, that avyakta means unmanifest state or the Brahman. Vyaktim apannam, that avyaktam apannam has become. Avyaktam means, apannam means has become. So that unmanifest state has now become or attained the state of a vyakti. Vyakti means person. So avyaktam vyaktim apannam, that the unmanifest has now become a person. Okay. So the cause was the unmanifest state. The effect is the vyakti. Now, it is not said here in this verse that it is by mixing of the gunas or the material energy with the avyakta. That part is not said here. I am explaining that. Okay. But that is what the understanding is, that how did that avyakta become a vyakti? All right. And manyate, those manyate means mante hain. There's a Hindi, correlation between the Sanskrit and mante hain. Manyate, mam, who consider me, that vyakti, to have come from the avyakta. What is Krishna calling them? Abbudhaya. They are having no buddhi, abbudhaya. Their intelligence is equal to zero, which means that they are utter fools. And if you compare this with the previous ones who go to the devatas, there Lord Krishna called him alpa medhasa. So they have less intelligence, alpa. So there it was less, here it is zero, which means there it was little bit there. It was just less. It wasn't like very high. So these ones are worse. Why they are worse? Because in the previous case, at least they go to the devatas who are devotees of Bhagavan. In this case, they reject Bhagavan completely as anybody who is superior. And also the devatas also they reject for the same reason. And they think that today I cannot become Bhagavan, but one day if I do enough effort, I can become Bhagavan. Okay, because Bhagavan is nothing but a superior form of a human being. Just like a cricketer, today I cannot become Sachin Tendulkar, but if I practice hard, if I do dedicate my life or this or that, I can also become like Tendulkar. There, it is a possibility. Who can deny that, if somebody is like this person, chess, whoever that chess, what's that name? Gudakesha? No. Gukesh or something.
Gukesh.
Yeah. There's a video of him when he was a small child, when he saw Vishwanathan Anand, who was the, world chess champion like 20 years ago. He said, I want to become like him. Now it is completely unimaginable that you can become world chess champion, the likes of Garry Kasparov and Anand and all that. When he's a little child, but uh, many children might have said that, but he showed it, he did it. It is possible. It requires a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, but it is possible. But it is impossible for a Jiva to become Bhagavan. It's just impossible. It's completely impossible. So that is not the understanding that Mayavadis have. Mayavadis think by enough effort, by enough austerities, I can become Bhagavan. It is definitely a possibility. And all this is all messed up understanding. It's wrong understanding. And Lord Krishna is calling them abbudhaya. They have no intelligence. Because, and not because, but they just don't know. Param bhavam ajananto. Ajananto matlab nahi janate. They do not know param bhavam, my most supreme nature, which is what? Avyayam mam, avyayam anuttamam, which is avyayam means eternal and anuttamam means the topmost. So this the Supreme Lord is eternal. The body in which as Krishna, as Rama and all is eternal body. It's not a material body. The Lord comes in his spiritual form. And even though externally he shows the symptoms of an ordinary person, like Lord Ram being sad or crying on Mother Sita getting kidnapped, or Lord Krishna feeling very sad in separation from his devotees, is a expression of love, is a external manifestation of the internal feelings that one is undergoing, and they are all manifestations of love. They are not manifestations of any suffering. So they are transcendental or they are divine feelings, which are nothing like the feelings of suffering or crying or separation that we experience. So these people do not understand that aspect of Bhagavan, and they say, yeah, Bhagavan is just like one of us, maybe a little better. I'm a local chess champion in my little neighborhood, and Gukesh or whatever, Vishwanathan Anand or Magnus Carlsen is the world chess champion. Fine. If I try hard enough, I can also become that. We are almost similar. So they are called abbudhaya. So this whole concept that Bhagavan is some kind of, and the ultimate goal for these people is to merge into the Brahman, because they think that ultimately Bhagavan is coming from Brahman. We have also come from Brahman. Ultimate goal is to become Brahman or merge into Brahman, and there is nothing higher than that. So with that understanding, they just treat Bhagavan as a stepping stone. I have to become like him. Once I become like him, I will go beyond him. Okay, so Bhagavan is just an intermediate milestone to attain, to become like him. So all this is called Mayavadi theory. And the fundamental point is that Lord Bhagavan is his body is made of material nature or Maya. So that is the main meaning of Mayavadi. Means they think that the Lord's body is made of material elements. So they are called abbudhaya. And then, yeah, so that is what is written here. And abbudhaya. Yeah. And then in the next verse, 25th verse, Lord Krishna says that I don't attempt to change their understanding, more or less. The Lord may send a devotee to give the right understanding, but the Lord is neutral. He lets people have their own understanding. Naham, so 25th verse. Naham prakashah sarvasya yoga maya samavritah मूढ़ोऽयं नाभिजानाति loko mamajamavyayam. So na aham prakashah sarvasya. So na aham means na aham, I do not. Prakashah means become visible. Prakash means light. Prakash also means to become visible. Sarvasya, to all such people. Yoga maya samavritah, I remain hidden. Samavritah means hidden or covered by my yoga maya. Yoga maya is Bhagavan's spiritual energy. So he remains hidden. So it's like somebody is looking up or somebody is looking down, let us say, and saying there is no sun. There is just light, but there is no sun. Yeah, there is light. That's exactly what these Mayavadis are saying. Yes, there is a superior creator. When they see creation and they realize that I cannot create all this. Like Srila Prabhupada said, we can create a 747 jumbo jet, but we cannot create a mosquito. We have so much advancement to create a jumbo jet and a rocket, but to create a mosquito, impossible. So the Lord can create a mosquito and he can create an eagle, tiger, elephant, everything. So we look down, we see light, we see there is a superior entity, but we say there is no creator. We see creation, but we deny the existence of a creator. And then somebody, tells them, look up and you will see a creator, let us say the sun. But if these people are completely unwilling to accept that, the Lord sends clouds to cover the sun. Okay, so even if they look up, they will just see cloud. They will say, yeah, where is the sun? I cannot see sun. So the Lord covers himself up with his Yoga Maya so as to stay hidden. He doesn't want to impose himself because he wants the Jivas to realize and love, out of that realization, to love Bhagawan without understanding the power of Bhagawan. That, oh my, out of fear, because it's very easy to love somebody out of fear. And that will be false love. Love is never out of power or out of force. So that is not definition of love. This also we discussed earlier. Give me 1 second. I need to just take a medicine. Okay. It's time 6:30. Sorry about that. So, okay. So the Lord says, I stay covered from such people. Yoga Maya Samavitaha. And these people, Mudho, Yam, Ayam Na Abhijanati, because these people are just mudhas, they are fools. So another point here is, even if I show myself, now somebody can ask that why doesn't Krishna show himself to these people to, convince them? This is a discussion we had in chapter 1. Even if Bhagavan shows himself, he showed himself to Duryodhan. Not only he showed himself, he showed his power. He showed his very huge universal form, partial universal form to Duryodhan. And still, instead of surrendering to Krishna, he ordered Krishna to be captured. He said, to his guards, go capture him and uh, tie him up. And so this is the response. So that only adds to our offenses, adds to our sinful activities by disrespecting Bhagavan. So even if Bhagavan shows himself, it will only increase the sinful baggage of the people, because that will hardly make anybody take shelter of Bhagavan. Yes, there may be a very tiny percentage of people who might take shelter of Bhagavan upon seeing him, but those percentage of people will take shelter of him anyway by hearing about him from devotees. So the fact that Lord shows himself to such people, they will doubt such vision. They will say, oh, this is just some false vision. I don't believe it, and they will all the more disrespect Bhagavan. So that is the characteristic of mudha. Mudhoyam na abhijanati. They do not know loko mam ajam avyayam. That all these people, loka people, the people of this world, they do not know that I am ajam and avyayam. Aja means unborn, and avyayam means eternal or who never dies. So neither was I ever born nor I ever die. And there are so many people personally who have asked me, oh, but Krishna was born in the jail from Devaki's womb. And I tell them, go read Bhagavatam. In two cases, such people after 1 year again asked me the same question. I happened to remember. I said, did you read? They said, no. One of them said, yes. I said, tell me what you read. And he was just some blabbering something. It was clear that he did not read. Or even if he read, the question still persisted, which means that even if he read, he was not convinced or he didn't agree to it. So whatever happened, but this is the situation. If you read Bhagavatam, you will see Bhagavan was not born like all children are born from the womb of Mother Devaki. And also in the Bhagavatam, it is written, he didn't die because of a hunter's arrow. That was just an external show. He just went up to the Swarga. As he was rising up and going to Vaikuntha, all the devatas were throwing flowers at him. He passed through Swargaloka and all the lokas and then went to Vaikuntha. This is all described. The birth of Krishna is described in 10th canto, chapter 1 and 2, and the departure of Krishna is described in 11th canto, last chapter. So all this has been described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and if one doesn't read or one reads and doesn't internalize and forgets, then it is not Krishna's problem. So Krishna is unborn and eternal. They do not realize that, they do not understand that. They are just attached to their own understanding. So they know what is the reality or what they want to believe. Anything that supports it, they will accept. Anything that doesn't support it, they will automatically reject. So this is basically people without an open mind, not willing to accept Shastra. So nothing can be done about them, and they are mudha, they are abbudhaya, and basically they will remain stuck in the material world. So that is what Lord Krishna is saying. I let them be happy with their flawed choices or understanding. And why I have said choices? Because understanding can be corrected, but a choice cannot be corrected. Okay. So they have just chosen to believe into the wrong understanding. All right. So that is the discussion on 24 and 25. Yes, Rajvidya Prabhu Ragatmika Mataji, you have a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then what we are essentially saying is all the Jains and Buddhism and Sikh and everything else would fall under Mayavad. They
I'm
make
not okay. Yeah, without taking names of any particular sects or groups of people, if anybody is believing that the Bhagavan form or the personal form is material, then that is completely incorrect. There are a lot of, now this we might have discussed or we will discuss in the chapter 9. There is a category of people called Brahmavadis. They are not Mayavadis. Okay, Brahmavadis are those who simply worship the supreme Brahman. They just completely keep Bhagavan on the side. Okay, so they don't have anything to do with Bhagavan. They are just focused on Brahman. So it's like they are just focused on Brahman. We can call ourselves as Bhagavan Vadis. Vadi means a follower or a believer of um, a particular school of thought. So we are Bhagavanvadis. We can call us another name for Bhagavanvadis. We say Vaishnavas. But there is no problem if one is a Brahmavadi. He just is more interested in Brahman, but he doesn't disrespect Bhagavan. He doesn't treat Bhagavan as material. He doesn't use Bhagavan as a stepping stone to go to Brahman. As long as those aspects are not there, then we should not call them fools or less intelligent or unintelligent. And between Jains, you said, and Sikhs, and what else you said, I forget. I can tell you that there are subcategories within these categories. Some believe in some aspects, some believe in some other aspects. And then we cannot paint all of them in the same color. So it's better before we point to someone to understand fully what they believe in. And much of this I know you may not mean that way, you may not have asked in that spirit, but I'm just saying, having this topic having come up, all this understanding is for our progress. We should simply apply it on us. If our astha, if our faith is on Bhagavad Gita, I'm showing you exactly what is there in Bhagavad Gita, word by word I'm showing. And you believe what is written in the Bhagavad Gita and improve your spiritual life, period. Don't worry about what we shouldn't pay much attention or much, life is short. We have so many other things to do. Our living a livelihood, earning a livelihood itself takes away 10, 12 hours of our life. We have very little time left for spiritual progress. We should focus on how we have to make progress. Leave them on their own. So, having said that, do you have any follow-up or what?
No, bro. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, one thing I have learned is that before we paint anybody else in a particular color, we must first make a serious attempt to understand their philosophy. I took a whole course on the Quran, on Bible, and on the Torah. Torah is the holy book of the Jews. These are the three principal Abrahamic religions, at least. And I took a 15-week, like a full semester course on each of these, so 45 weeks. I went and studied. It's not a lot. Our Bhagavad Gita course itself is more than 15 weeks. So it's not as deep as we are doing Bhagavad Gita, but still I dedicated some serious time to each of those books. So yeah, in Islam, for example, there is a big difference between Shias and Sunnis. And leave them aside, there is this whole sect in Islam called the Sufis. And that is very close to our Bhakti. And lot of similarities are there. So, and of course, Shias and Sunnis are, separated by whether they follow the disciples of Muhammad who are not his sons, or his disciples who were his sons. So they kind of like the blood lineage or the Shiksha lineage. So the Shiksha lineage ones are called the Shias, and the blood lineage ones come under the Sunnis. And they, as you know, they also keep fighting amongst themselves. Within Christians, there's so much fighting, Catholics and Protestants. And all this is going on. So, yeah. Anyway, people need a reason to fight. The reason is not important. What is important is we have some reason to fight. And that is the material nature.
No,
So,
Prabhuji, the only thought that I had was all of these sects or religions have made humans as gods. That was the only thought. But otherwise, I think, yeah, you explained it well. Thank you.
so Okay, let me say one more thing. If making human as God, okay. Now, my understanding of Islam, for example, Muhammad, at least the way it was taught to me. Now, I have not gone and analyzed every word of Quran. I don't even know Arabic, which was perhaps the original language. So I have read only English translations of some verses. But nowhere Muhammad has said, I am God. He is the messenger of God. Okay, Allah is Bhagawan. Of course, he doesn't have a form and all that, so that there is that difference. But Muhammad, even Muslims do not believe Muhammad as Bhagawan. He is known as the topmost messenger. So Bhagawan is Bhagawan. Now, in all of the Bible, the original four testaments, the let me see if I can remember them: Luke, Mark, um, John, and one more. Somebody can tell me. Nowhere, huh?
Matthew, Prabhuji?
Matthew, yes. So in these four, nowhere, these were the four sort of disciples who were associated with Jesus personally and heard his sermons or his teachings firsthand. In these four, nowhere it is said that Jesus is God. This whole concept of the Trinity came about later, uh, about 300 years later, um, when Constantine, one of the kings or the emperors of Rome, wanted to rule people, and he thought that yes, a religious way of ruling is the best way. People are whatever, and he basically made Christianity the state religion. And Jesus Christ was promoted, as I understand, was promoted to the stature of God through the principle of the Trinity, that all three are divine: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So, from I mean, there is a concept of the Father, and the Son is Jesus. Father is God, the Son is Jesus, but they were both promoted to divinity or to the godly level. So there is that, there is that difference as well. If you talk to, for example, one of the branches of Christianity known as the Jehovah's Witnesses, they still do not believe that Jesus is God. They will call him a son of God, but not God. So this whole point of promoting someone to the level of God, if you look at the finer details, you will realize that there are differences. Okay. And within Hinduism, I mean, among what we are reading in Bhagavad Gita, we are reading the direct words of the Bhagavad Gita, but there is so much literature where one says that one can attain the status of God. So it's even there in our Sanatana Dharma, what to speak of others. So we are also not immune to that. The Bhagavad Gita doesn't say that, the Bhagavatam doesn't say that, but several interpretations of the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutra, which are the other two limbs of our Sanatana Dharma, many interpretations say that. Okay. Okay, let's move on. So this was about, so these are the people also who cannot surrender to Bhagavan because they think that Bhagavan himself is at a lower level. He is a Vyakti who came from the Avyakta. So let us surrender to the Avyakta, or let us try to become Avyakta rather than taking shelter of the Vyakti who himself is a or is a effect of the original Brahman. All right. Okay. Now comes the discussion of the Jiva. So why are we or what causes us to be entangled? So that is the next discussion. So why are we so entangled? And that we will discuss in 26 and 27. So 26. So Lord Krishna is saying in 26, basically he is differentiating. He is saying that the Jivas will always be Jivas, and I am Bhagawan, and I am just inherently superior. And he is giving a very, very clear distinction between Bhagawan and Jivas. Vedaham samatitani vartamani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. So Veda aham, I know. Veda means, or veti, or Veda means to know. Aham, I know. Samatitani. So Bhagavan is telling about himself. I know the Atita. Atita means the past. Samatitani. Atita is past. Vartamani cha Arjuna, and the present Vartaman. Bhavishyani cha, and the future also. So I know all that, and not just about myself. Bhutani, of all living entities, about all jivas. So I know past, present, future about all jivas. Basically, I am omniscient. Can anybody say this about himself? No. So there itself is the biggest difference between Jiva and Bhagavan. And Jiva, he does not know me. Mam tu veda na kaschana. Kaschana means anyone. Nobody. Nobody knows me. That's the last line of 7.26. What to speak about me, who is another entity, they don't know themselves fully. How many of us can say we know ourselves fully? We don't even know ourselves fully. We don't even know what we like and what we dislike, what we actually want. We are always confused. There is so much confusion. So we don't even know ourselves fully. And the reason why we are like that, why we cannot understand ourselves, so we don't have to understand other living entities. The maximum for our life to be successful, the maximum that we need to understand is little bit of ourselves and little bit of Bhagavan. If we can understand these two, ourselves and Bhagavan, that too not fully, to some extent, our life will be successful. So what is the reason that we are not able to understand this? And the reason is because of their likes and dislikes, what is known as the duality. We are entangled in duality due to our material attachments. So attachment to dualities, that is the, if you want to kind of put it in 3 words, attachment to dualities. That is the answer. So that is what is said in 7.27. Ichha dvesha. That's exactly what it is. Likes and dislikes. Ichha means desires. What do you desire? Something that you dislike? No. Ichha means to desire, and obviously you desire things that you like. And dvesha is also a kind of desire, but it is a desire to hate. So it is something like a negative desire. So ichha dvesha. So that is what our whole life is consisting of: desires, likes and dislikes. Ichha dvesha samuthena. Dvanda mohena bharata. So my dear Arjuna, Bharata, we are completely engrossed or entangled in this dvanda mohena. Moha means we are completely bewildered or illusioned by likes and dislikes. If only I had this, or if only I could get rid of this. Mostly the get rid of is in terms of people. If only this person were to disappear from my life would be happy. If only I had this, or I could become this, then my life would be happy. Everybody, I don't want to do this exercise right now. You can do it at your own time. Everybody will have a long list of people they wish they did not have in their lives. And everybody will have a long list of who they could become. Okay, I could become, I could get double promotion. I could become a person with 10 times the bank balance. I could become the, leader, the president, the local, whatever, most popular, most powerful person. I could have so many desires. So, Dvanda Mohena Bharata. And Sarva Bhutani Sammoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa. That all these living entities from beginningless time, from the beginning of time itself, which is unending, beginningless, they are grappling with these likes and dislikes. So, because of that, we are completely illusioned, and we are not able to take shelter of Bhagawan, because we take shelter of everything material, because we think we know what will give us happiness. If this person were to go away from my life will be happy. If I become this person, if I have this, all this will make us happy. We know the formula. We are just trying to execute it. We are completely clueless about what will make us happy, the real thing that will make us happy. And this is the cause why they are not able to take shelter of me, that they stay separate from me. And if they desire to stay separate from me, I also stay away from them. I either remain hidden from them, I do not reveal myself to them, I let them be who they are. Okay, so that is the discussion of our entanglement in the material world. Now comes the solution. This is now, please wake up. This is wake up time. Okay. Even if you were half listening so far or getting bored or whatever, now please wake up. A very important verse is coming up, which is 7.28. It's extremely important verse, one of the very important verses of 7th chapter. Okay. येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता bhajante मां दृढव्रताः. Very, very, very important verse. So how to get rid of this dvanda mohena, dvanda duality, like, dislike, everything we classify into two categories: like, dislike, win, lose, friend, enemy, whatever it is, heat, cold, rich, poor. Life is just full of dualities. How do we get rid of these dualities? If we can get rid of our attachment to these dualities, remember the root cause of why we are not able to take shelter of Bhagavan is what? Attachment to dualities, ATD. Remember that. Attachment to dualities, ATD, is the root cause of our bondage. That's who we are clinging to. It's our choice. It's not that it has come and caught us. We are catching it. Remember Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj catching the tree, and saying, "Tree, leave me." Whenever you remember, if you get confused about this, whether Maya is catching us or we are catching Maya, always remember the picture of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj catching the tree and saying, "Leave me, leave me." Then it will become clear. So we have caught the tree of Maya called attachment to dualities, ATD. How to get rid of it? Very important. So this verse is extremely important, and I have 3 slides on this verse. So please pay attention. So what this verse means, and what tells you, who can tell me what tells you in this verse that makes it important? Come on, let's see who has been listening to the classes. What in the verse tells you that this is an important verse? Yes, Shalu Mataji.
It says the people who have gotten rid of their pious.
No. I need one word.
Bhajan,
One word answer.
devotional service.
No.
There is the but in there. But is the reason.
Very nice. Who said that?
Myself, Ram.
Okay, fine. Yes, good. You have been listening carefully. So tasmat, ataha, tu. So there is the word tu, even though in Sanskrit it has been transformed to tva because of the sandhi. Okay. Yesham tvanta, tvanta. Okay, that's because you have to join. Tu and anta becomes tvanta. But if you break it, it becomes tu anta, tu anta. If you say tu anta fast, it will just come out of the mouth as tuanta, 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 tuanta. Okay, so that's how Sanskrit works. It's not that hard. Anyway, it is tu anta, tuanta. So yesham tvanta gatam papam. So tu anta. So tu means but. That itself tells you that it is an important verse. Okay. Anyway, so those who antagatam papam, those who pap, you understand pap, antagatam means have put an end to. Antagatam, usko ant kar diya, usko ant mein bhej diya. Antagatam, chalo tum bhavo. Mr. Pap, please leave. So who has shown the exit to Mr. Pap? So who have given up sinful life. Okay. And jananam punya karmanam. Punya karmanam. So those people, jananam, who are engaging in punya karma. Okay. Te. Okay. So ye sham means those. Te means also they, but, or, you know, like there's a cause and effect kind of shown here. But there's an important point to be understood here. Okay. Anyway, they are able to do what? Te dvanda moha nirmukta. They are able to free themselves, nirmukta. If you see, this is yeah. Where is that word? Anyway, I'm probably forgetting. Anyway, te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. So they are able to give up, or they are able to become free from the dvanda moha. And they are able to engage bhajante mam, engage in my bhajan, dridhavratah. Dridhavratah means with strong determination. Dridhavrat, not just vrat, not just dridha. Dridhavrata, strong determination with a strong vow. They are able to engage in my bhajan. So bhajan is good. That bhajan is good, which is dridhavrata. Once you have taken a strong vow, I will do my bhajan. And therefore, this is referring to sadhana bhakti. This is not bhava bhakti. This is not the ultimate level of bhajan, because ultimate level of bhajan will come when there is naturally it is coming out bhava bhakti. That naturally it is coming out. You don't have to force, you don't have to determine yourself. Like sense gratification, enjoyment of sense gratification comes naturally to all of us, isn't it? Do you have to be determined? Today I will watch 3 hours of Netflix. I must. You're looking at the watch. Oh, it's only 2 hours. Oh my God, 1 more hour I have to watch Netflix? No. Or whatever else, engaging in all kinds of sinful and obnoxious activities. Nobody looks at the clock. It's naturally there, naturally. In the same way, bhajan has to be natural. But here, this is talking about bhajan with vrata. Therefore, this is referring to the practice of bhajan, sadhan bhakti stage. So they are able to tesham, te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. They engage in my bhajan with determination. Now, there's a very important point here. It appears that and then what happens, by the way, this is a virtuous cycle. You put effort to give up sinful life and lead a sattvik life. This engage in pious activities means leading a sattvik life, a pure lifestyle, which means living in a mode of goodness lifestyle, developing, cultivating, not just giving up sinful or bad qualities, but developing good qualities, like speaking the truth, being clean, reading scriptures, eating nice things, limiting the amount of or gradually reducing our sense gratification. So many things, being friendly, being calm and composed, not getting agitated or angry. All these are pious activities. Pious activity just does not mean giving charity. That is part of it. Now, the point is, these are a virtuous cycle. If you do the previous first two, it enables you to engage in bhajan more nicely. Okay, forget this part right now. You might be seeing 2 different colors, light blue and dark blue. I will explain why. Okay, but just first focus on the fact that there are 2 arrows which make a cycle. It's going like this. So by leading a sattvik lifestyle, it makes it easier to focus on bhajan. Okay. Now, just one example of sattvik lifestyle. And it's probably, I would say that one of the most important aspects of sattvik lifestyle is, who can say? Anybody wants to guess? I don't want to
Waking up early.
waking
Cleanliness.
early.
Cleanliness.
Not at all.
Shadam.
Vehemently waking up early. How is that the most important or very important? This whole thing is all messed up.
I mean, devotional service is the most.
Hitler used to wake up very early.
Speaking truth.
So many demoniac people. Anyway.
Being truthful, Prabhuji.
Okay, good.
No meat eating.
Prashadam. Eating prashadam.
No
Okay.
meat eating.
Okay.
Prabhuji, cleanliness.
Love for God, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'm talking about mode of goodness. We are not in transcendental yet.
Being compassionate.
Compassionate. Okay.
Submitting yourself to Krishna.
That is also transcendental, whoever said that. We are simply talking mode of goodness. So I will say one thing. This is my belief. Okay. There is no ranking given anywhere in Shastra that I have come across. But one of the things that I try to do in my life, I'm not very successful, by the way, I'm just saying, is simplicity. Arjavam. Okay, simplicity. Being just a simple person. Simple means saral, or just a very, what it means is what's in your mind is what you say, is what you do. Alignment between mind, body, and action. That is called simplicity. And what I have seen is that this just solves so many problems in one's life. You don't have to constantly keep thinking, what am I going to say to this person? What should I say to this? How should I respond to this to get a favorable outcome that I want, an outcome that I am attached to? Constantly this is going on. When one is doing japa, japa is a very important aspect of devotional life. What occupies your mind? Tell me. If I request all of you to try this out in your life when you are doing japa, for those who you are, and I hope everyone is doing that. That most of the time it is the lack of simplicity which is causing all the kinds of thoughts that come to your mind, which is distracting you from japa. And if you lead and it's a very tall order to lead a simple life, you may have to give up on many perceived successes, because yes, by being manipulative, being duplicit, you can get a lot of temporary success. You can make people agree to you. You can manipulate people, make them do what you want without revealing the whole, without being a simple person. Bhole Baba. In Hindi, there are derogatory terms. We call them Gobar Ganesh. He is Buddhu. Those derogatory terms are used. Buddhu hai wo to Gobar Ganesh hai, ya to wo to kya Bhole Baba hai. Usko we can manipulate him. We can kya bolenge? We can take advantage of him. But those people can focus on their bhajan so nicely. Now you tell me which is more important. Ability to focus on bhajan or not being taken advantage of. Yes, such people will be taken advantage of, especially in Kali Yuga, which is this age. But honestly tell me, which is a bigger treasure? Which is a bigger treasure? Ability to do nice bhajan, or always trying to defend yourself, which is not being taken advantage of. This is animalistic mentality, not being taken advantage of. It's another way of saying defense. That's why we say eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. Eating to yeah, theek hai, fine. So many health conscious people, they eat less. Sleeping, we all get nice sleep. We should wake up, many people are doing 8 hours of good sleep. That's enough. Nobody is sleeping 12 hours. So we are sleeping in moderation. We are eating in moderation. Mating, sex activity. Nobody is kind of, I don't know, apart from some really, sex maniacs, I will say, nobody is engaging in sex activity like excessively. But the fourth one, defending, that is what we are engaging in almost 24/7. And modern way of saying that we are constantly defending means we are constantly thinking how not to be taken advantage of or how to take advantage of others. Leave it and then see how much quality of japa will increase. Okay. So that is very important thing. And then you will see how much focus those people who are very simple, who don't have too many entanglements, too many things to worry about. I am this, I am that, too many positions, too many upadhis, just too much ichha dvesha. They are able to engage. So that is the point. Those who do this engage in pious activities, I would request or urge everybody to try simplicity in their life. You will see how strongly it enables nice, very high quality bhajan. You may miss out on material success. Very true. But in return, what you will get is unlimited. Please try it. Try it. Okay, bhajan is not for the very, it will not make you very rich materially. It will make you very rich spiritually. So it enables this. So they are able to get out of material entanglement, and they are able to engage in my bhajan with determination. Very strong, nice, high quality bhajan. That's what it means. Okay. And when they do this bhajan with good quality, not just external, I would say bhajan quality, one of the key metric is internal. Anything that is external is not a good, not as good. It may be a good indicator, but not as good an indicator as which cannot be seen. So focus first on those aspects of bhajan which somebody else cannot see. Only you can see, which means they are internal. Now, waking up early was mentioned. Which category it comes in? Can somebody else see what time you are waking up at? If they were in your room, let us say, can they see? Yes, no, Shrikar, Prabhu.
What exactly do you mean? Sorry.
Okay, if I am sleeping in the same room as you, can I see what time you wake up at? Is it
No, because you're
a physical?
sleeping.
Huh? No, I am
If
awake. Okay, forget it. Anyway,
uh
others
Sorry.
can see what time you wake up, but others
Yeah.
can see what is going on in your mind while you are doing your bhajan. So what I'm saying is, what is internal is more important than what is external. How many rounds you do? I do 50 rounds. I do 32 rounds. I do all that. Doing what is externally visible is less. I'm not saying it's unimportant. It is less important.
Oh, the reason I mentioned waking up early is just because
It's okay.
Brahma Muhurta, like, I don't know. I just assumed it was, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. There's this lot of this understanding that yes, externals matter more. Yeah. Even the hunter gets up early because early bird gets the worm. You might have heard that. Anyway,
I see. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Prabhu.
I mean, it's good. It's very, nobody should get, I'm not advocating getting up late or, all that. I'm saying that shouldn't give one the pride, I'm doing good bhajan. One should never get the pride or the feeling anyway, but there are more important metrics than externally visible aspects. So it enables doing good bhajan. Now this other arrow is that when one does good bhajan, serious, good quality bhajan, the bhajan itself cleanses the heart. Now, this is not explainable by logic, material logic, but it works that way. Bhajan cleanses the heart. Cheto darpana marjanam. So, bhajan cleanses the heart, and the heart becomes more and more simple. Arjavam happens. One gives up sinful activities. So, and then when that happens, one is able to engage in bhajan even more nicely. And this virtuous cycle keeps going, and that's great. That's what we need. Now, I want to just little bit go into the light blue and dark blue aspect of this cycle. Yes, Shweta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is about the previous discussion that we were having about simplicity. You mentioned that a simple person is able to focus on bhajan, is able to focus more on bhajan, and also he does not prefer to defend himself all the times. But I also feel that at some times, I mean, one must defend themselves, right? Like when people try to take advantage, we must defend, right? Later, he may not feel that, oh, I should have, defended myself. Maybe I'm not understanding the boundary. Could you please throw some light on this?
Very good. Yeah, good question. So maybe I spoke in absolute terms that don't defend yourself, period. So again, all this has to be understood in context. So in previous chapters, we discussed, don't pretend to be somebody you are not, right? So we must evaluate, are we ready to be so simple that we just let others take advantage of us? I mean, we don't invite others to take advantage of us. Okay, we don't post our bank password online saying, come take away my money. Or we don't post, I mean, we don't reveal our heart, or we don't do stupid things, obviously. Okay. But it's a gradual process. So it's not like from tomorrow I will be completely simple and then suddenly in 2 months or 2 weeks, you see people taking advantage of you, and you get impacted because of that. So one has to see at what level they are, how much they can tolerate being taken advantage of, slowly transition into the life of simplicity. In our lives, in my life earlier, even now, and in many people's life, whatever I'm privy to, there is already too much of, so let me put it this way, preventing ourselves from being taken advantage of. Let's leave that aside. Do everything to defend yourself. Let us say, at least a good starting point could be to not take advantage of others. A lot of the mental bandwidth goes into speaking a lie and then trying to cover that up with something else, and then something else, and then something else, just for some meager benefits. We can stop doing that. It's okay. We may not get the benefit that we wanted by, and it may not be a big lie. I'm not saying it's about doing a tax fraud or some big crime, but small things. There can be so many examples. We can just begin to be more and more simple in our lives. Gradually, we are intelligent also. We can see that, yes, in this matter, if I just act in a simple way, whatever is coming in your mind is the most truthful. What you speak and what you do with your actions is more you can control. Mind, So, as they say, speak your mind, which means being honest. You can judge what is the consequence of being honest in a given situation. Maybe the consequence is you may have to pay some price. Okay? Be willing to pay the price if the price is tolerable. If the consequence is very big, maybe be your old self. Try to hide it or whatever. Don't be simple in that case if you are not able to accept the consequences. But slowly and slowly, you will build the muscle. And you will realize one thing, that if you are doing this as an act of bhakti, that because I read it in Bhagavad Gita, because Krishna will be pleased if I am simple, or because my bhajan of Krishna will improve if I am simple, you will see, I guarantee you, you will see that Krishna will help you. You will not be taken advantage of. In many cases, one example just comes to mind, which I will share. We were trying to get Ram Mandir darshan in Ayodhya on our trip. And for the second darshan, and we didn't know how to book online and this and that. I'll cut the story short. For a more detailed story, you can look at that video. We went to this one officer to plead our case that to give us a special pass on the spot, like a, instant pass. Now, I was thinking whether I should say I'm feeling sick, I'm very tired, or this or that, and this. I said, we are trying to get darshan of Lord Ram. Let me tell him the truth. I didn't want to say I'm coming from America and I'm only here for 2 days. I thought he will think, "Arey, ye sab America se aate hain. These people come from America, and why should we?" Whatever that thought was. But I decided to tell him we are only here. I even showed him my passport that I'm coming from America. This that. Immediately he said, "Okay, tonight you can get darshan for Shayan Aarti." I was so happy. But before that, these thoughts were coming to my mind. How to manipulate what is the best thing to say. He doesn't know who I am. I can say whatever I want. So I had the choice to say whatever I want in order to get darshan. What will be the best thing to say? But I chose to just say my exact current situation. I don't know what would have been the outcome in the other case. Maybe I still would have got it, but at least I got it in this case. Anyway, I don't know if that was a good example or not, but my point is try to do it. At least start off in simple cases, in less consequential cases, and you will see that Lord Krishna will help you, and you will build the faith and the confidence to be more and more straightforward in your dealings as you become more and more fixed in your devotional life. Try it out. That is the point. And it will help your determined sadhan bhakti also. So did that help? Did that give you some?
Yes, Prabhuji, that makes sense. Yeah, because most of the times when you try to defend yourself, there are other unnecessary thoughts that come while you're chanting. Oh, that time I didn't be myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or let's say you didn't get what you want. Then you would think, oh, what if I had said that? What if this? What if that? What if? And instead of focusing on Krishna, you are focusing on the what ifs.
Yes. Instead of thinking of manipulating, just being yourself will give you a clean mind while chanting. You don't have any unnecessary thoughts running in your mind, and you can focus. Yeah, that's very well said by you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Precisely. You said it much better than I said.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
If that can be the one single takeaway, it is the best takeaway from the whole course, Bhagavad Gita course itself. Just this one takeaway. Simplify your life, make it as straightforward as possible, and improve your bhajan. If you can do that, there's hardly going to be a bigger takeaway than that. All right, Damodar Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, like connected point here. Is simplicity connected to only mental thinking, or is it like what we, I mean, like let's say if a person have a lot of money and mentally he is not attached to using that money, but he still have to use it like king or some minister. So is it like just mental simplicity or something else?
I don't know what really you meant by that. All simplicity starts at the mental level. Now, I really didn't get the example of spending the money, but I'll just tell you one more thing. When in some, genuine case where you have to donate some money and you feel like donating, and somebody approaches, you say, no, I am very poor. It's all manipulation. Better to stay straightforward that this is the amount of budget I have to donate. Yes, I have this much money. Now, again, that is a very high level. It's almost like revealing your bank password, how much money you have in your bank. So today, if you ask me how much I have, I'm not going to tell you. I'm sorry. But, you internally know, yes, I have this. And if I have to donate something for a just or for a very good cause, still people may lie that, oh, I'm very poor. Oh, I'm not earning this. Please take only this much. Next year, all story making. Better to say this is, even if you don't want to part with your money, better is to say, I have a certain budget. This is how much I can give. Kindly accept. Instead of making a story about it, we try to defend ourselves and still we try to look good. A very clear outcome of that is that people figure out, because everybody knows when you are trying to manipulate. They may not say it, and you may think, oh, I was successful. It's better to be straightforward, even for material relationship value standpoint. People appreciate when one is straightforward. Or you can say, no, I have this much budget. I have donated to other things. Now I cannot donate. Better to say that. Anyway, so I didn't get your example of the money, but all the simplicity ultimately begins in the mind. Yes. What was the point?
I think, Prabhu, that answers the question mostly. Yeah.
Okay. What
It was
was your?
it was more about kind of when we say something else, but we think something else. So I was asking, if we think what we say in terms of when we deal with others, in terms of can I not just money, but about different things. So yeah, I think it makes sense to me, Prabhu, now.
Okay, but okay, I didn't still realize what exactly you were trying to ask. But at the highest level, yes, you should be willing to open your bank account to anyone and say, here is my bank account. And that's a very high level. And at such level, one doesn't even care about the bank. That such an advanced person will probably not even have a bank account. So, you know, very, very advanced devotees, they are completely not like Sanatan Goswami. He had a touchstone. He threw it in the garbage and didn't care for it. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. So, coming to, yes, Shrikar Prabhu.
Sorry for a quick follow. I'm not sure if you might have already covered this, but like, could you expand exactly what you mean by simplicity? Because, I mean, if someone has like a bunch of household duties, for example, or if someone has like several responsibilities that they can't just sort of renounce, like Arjuna just can't he can't go to the forest, right? Or whatever. But I don't know, that's like a parallel point. But I mean, if someone has a lot of duties and if someone has a lot of
What has that
responsibilities,
got to do with simplicity?
because generally one tends to be perplexed because, or like stressed because of these activities. And so that causes like a lack of simplicity in their life. The more activities someone has, whereas someone just like, I went to Vrindavan recently and then went on yatra, and it was like very simple relatively. It was like very calm. And I wish I could do that for the rest of my life, but then you have these like responsibilities or whatever. So
No,
then
some of the responsibilities are taken up by us in pursuit of some attachments, some strong attachments. So some responsibilities are there, simply there because, and we may want to keep them as our duties. So I don't know, taking care of family members or taking care of ourselves, the basic livelihood, etc., are responsibilities that somehow or the other we have gotten ourselves into, and now we have to fulfill those responsibilities. Therefore, it is said taking up new commitments one should do in a very responsible way. One should not just impulsively take on commitments, because then it will become a responsibility that will be very hard to get out of. So one should not just irresponsibly quit from commitments. That's never, that's not called being simple. That's called being a jerk, or being a irresponsible jerk. So therefore, get into commitments with a lot of thought. And there are commitments which we are born with. So we have to fulfill those commitments. But most of the complexity that comes in our life is due to the choices or the commitments we take on without thinking. And we keep on taking them on in pursuit of some material attachments. And then we wonder, how the heck did I get here? Now, what am I supposed to do? Now, suppose somebody is very poor and is working 2 jobs, working 16 hours a day. I agree that if he is having to do that much to simply make ends meet, to put some food on the table, maybe that's what needs to be done. So I don't have much to say other than pray for such a person. I don't want to tell such a person that, quit your job and then go hungry, or don't feed your family. So that is why, but I don't think none of the people attending this Zoom call is in that situation. For many of us, much of the entanglements that we take up in our lives are just out of some greed or some weird sense of accomplishment or attachments. One common thing is, to keep buying properties for some kind of benefit, and then you have to spend so much time managing them. Something breaks, something, or just unnecessary. I really want to finish chapter 7, but yeah, I hope you get it.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, now coming to this arrow. So which one is more important? That is what this light and dark arrow is showing. Now, we talked a lot about simplicity, which is in the category of engaging in a pious or a mode of goodness lifestyle that enables good quality bhajan. That is what this arrow, the light colored arrow, is showing. But whatever be the case, now here is another new learning which we haven't discussed yet. Whatever be the case, whether you are able to change your lifestyle, give up sinful activities or not. For in some cases, it may not be possible due to just intense attachment to them. In any case, one should engage in bhajan, strong bhajan, as much as possible. Yes, these entanglements will distract you. The more the entanglements are, the more one will be distracted in the bhajan, correct? But still, as much as possible, engage in good quality bhajan, and that will clean your heart and mind. So that is between these two, this side is more important and has a greater effect on solving the other side. Okay, so I'm not saying that completely give up the first two and just focus on the latter two. One must try to do both categories, but between the two, the latter category is more important, because high quality bhajan helps in cleaning one's mind and heart. Okay, so that is the significance of this light arrow and dark arrow. And also another point is that simply engaging in pious activities does not lead to bhakti. It enables good bhakti. But one can be a very pious person. It doesn't mean he is a bhakta, he is a Krishna bhakta or he is a Vaishnava. A good quality, a good mode of goodness or a sattvik person is simply a sattvik person. He may be a very good-natured, very person with very good material qualities. There are so many people who may be very simple, very kind and everything, but they may never do Krishna Bhakti or Bhagavat Bhakti. So this is not a direct cause. What happens is that by doing pious activities, one comes in association of pure devotees. And through association of pure devotees, one takes up bhakti. So the point is, punya karma is not the cause of bhakti. Association of pure devotees is the cause of bhakti. Okay, so this arrow is indirect. Whereas bhakti directly cleans the heart. This other arrow is direct. So these are just some points to keep in mind. And the fundamental point to take away is that bhakti is the most important engagement in our life. That is why the slide is titled Jiva's purpose in life. Not I should have said a manushya, not Jiva. A dog and cat cannot do bhakti. So manushya or a human's purpose in life is to do bhakti. Make a note, I should change that slide, okay? All right, next one. So just to summarize, okay, this discussion, the learning is that one should make every effort to remove sinful activities from one's life and practice the austerity of leading a sattvik life. Leading a sattvik life is not easy. Leading a sattvik life is austerity. And many of you mentioned so many things. We had a long discussion on being simple. One cannot disagree that, it is an austerity to lead a simple life. People will take advantage of you. You will feel sad. All those things will happen. Though that's an austerity, but all the other mode of goodness things like being kind or what is the other thing you said? Not eating meat. People who relish eating meat, for them to not eat meat is an austerity, or giving up onion garlic, or so many getting up early very much. Chanting japa, whether good quality or bad quality, either way it's an austerity. So practicing austerities, so one should practice these austerities of mode of goodness, but at the same time, not wait, once because of practicing these, I'll just practice austerities of leading a sattvik life, I'll remove sinful activities, then I will wait for bhakti to somehow magically appear. No. Don't wait. Right from today, at the same time, practice engagement in triple S bhajan or triple S bhakti. And this one is more important than the other two. But it doesn't mean one should neglect 1 and 2. Lord Krishna himself is saying, Antagatam papam and jananam punya karmanam. So one should, and then this bhajan will strengthen the sattvik lifestyle and it will lead to this virtuous cycle. Okay. So what does triple S mean? I just want to make sure everybody has complete good understanding of triple S. Each of the S has a very important meaning. Serious, sincere, and steady. Okay. Please try to understand this. It's extremely important. Serious means serious about the goal. Please try to understand. Without that, the other two will be hard. One has to be serious. I am convinced bhakti is the purpose of my life. Every day that goes without you doing good bhakti should feel like I didn't accomplish today enough. Many of the CEOs, not even forget CEOs, they get fired every day. Entrepreneurs, the owners of the company, they have this burning desire. Oh, what did we do today? Tomorrow, every day is going by. This quarter went by. Just like in that material life, one is completely passionate. In the same way, one has to be passionate. I really need to make progress. This is my one chance. This is the one human life I have. Who knows, next life I'll be a cat or dog. We don't even know when will I die. Car accident, heart attack, whatever. Today went by. What did I do today? So serious about the goal. Will I be able to be successful? Will I be able to get darshan of Krishna in this life? So being serious. Did I do enough today? Did I make good use of today? It's very important to have that seriousness about the goal. I really want this in my life. This is what I want. One should constantly keep thinking about that. Like a hungry person, like I am on Ekadashi, Nirjal Ekadashi day, hardly think of Krishna. When will this end and when will I get food? Try to fast fully one day. At least for me, it is impossible. Then only thing that goes in the mind is food, food, food. Like that, one should think Krishna. Or like a, I don't know, like a entrepreneur or whatever, like a sex maniac trying to look for, the next opportunity to indulge. I don't know, whatever that, like that maniacal mentality, in a good sense, I'm saying. That urgency. Yeah, even urgency, I think, is a weak word. That super duper extreme sense of urgency, that what did I do enough today? Why am I doing any other thing? What can I give up? Now, I personally cannot give up eating or drinking water. Eating, and I need to have enough money to, at least live under a house, a shelter. What else can I give up? Just cut out, keep cutting out, so that the bare minimum is left that allows you to do bhakti. I cannot live on a street, I tell you. I cannot even sit on the floor. I need a chair. My backbone hurts if I sit on the floor for more than 10 minutes. Everybody in Portland knows that. So I need some facility. I cannot take a cold water shower. Maybe, yes, I can. I did take. We went to Badrinath and there was no hot water. So I took a cold water shower in Badrinath. Anyway, that was one time. That too because the helicopter flight was cancelled. That was not planned. It was forced. Anyway, so yeah. So I need some basic comforts, but other things, try to cut it out, completely cut it out. That is called seriousness. Then seriousness, many people, and now in general, true seriousness will lead to sincerity. But sincerity means, in this case, what I am saying, sincerity in execution. Many people are serious, but that is lip service. Oh, I'm very serious. I'm serious. I want it. I want it. What did you do? Nothing today. Okay, then there is no sincerity. That seriousness, then there is a problem in the seriousness. So they are linked. Of course, all three are linked. So seriousness about the goal. That constant evaluation. Am I moving forward towards the goal with good speed? Then sincerity means sincerity about actually moving forward. And steady means not like, today, then gap of 5 days, then one more day, then gap of 5 days. Not like that. Every, like unbroken. Apratihata. Okay. So unbroken, like continuous. So that is called that good quality bhakti. Okay, and I already mentioned, so punya karma is not the cause, but anyway. So that is another, the key learning. But so again, focusing on this, so I hope that triple S is clear. Then anyway, and this bhakti in this particular example or this point, the circle, the light and the dark, this is more important. Bhakti is more important than actually practicing to develop mode of goodness life, because bhakti, one of the effect of bhakti is that it cleans the heart. But many people conclude that mercy, bhakti comes by mercy of devotees. I also said that, right? So it means that till then, till I get the mercy, I will sit and twiddle thumbs, you know. उत्तर प्रदेश में, यूपी में बोलते हैं तिकल्ला लपेटेंगे तब तक, बैठ के तिकल्ला लपेटेंगे, मतलब do nothing, or in English it is called twiddle thumbs. This is how our teacher used to do, twiddle thumbs. What did you do? Twiddle thumbs today. So till then I will twiddle thumbs. Somehow the mercy will come like a rain. I am sitting in the clear sky and one day the rainfall will happen. That is also, so no effort is needed from my side. So it is correct that bhakti comes from pure devotees by mercy of pure devotees, but this mercy word has to be understood. This is very, very, very misunderstood. Mercy means like a, you know, like Biden, Joe Biden is leaving the office, so he is giving these pardons to the, many pardons to the prisoners. So these prisoners, it's like that feeling, that's the concept we have of mercy. I am sitting in the jail. One day the pardon letter will come in front of me and I will be free. I am just sitting. All I have to do is sit. That is the wrong understanding of mercy, not that kind of mercy, the presidential mercy. Even though that example is given, the wrong part is I don't have to do anything. It is true that the effort does not primarily have to be in developing mode of goodness or getting rid of sinful activities. Okay? But there is effort. It's not that the effort is zero. The effort is not that much into removing sinful activities and developing good qualities, but it means that there is a lot of effort in executing triple S bhakti. So effort has to be there, but in bhakti. That is why it is called sadhana bhakti. Otherwise, why Sri Rupa Goswami will give the name sadhana bhakti? Bhakti by practice. Practice means by putting some effort. So the effort has to be put in sadhana bhakti, and part of sadhana bhakti is to develop good qualities. So developing good qualities seen not just for the sake of developing good qualities, but when we understand that that is what pleases Krishna, and therefore I must do it. So the motivation changes. And this we will study in 12th chapter, verse numbers 13 to 20 are directly talking about that. Be a good human being because it pleases me. So if you are a Krishna Bhakta, if Krishna would have said, go be a jerk and that would please me, we would happily be jerks. But unfortunately, he doesn't say that. He says, be a good human being that pleases me. So simply for the sake of pleasing Krishna, with that mood, with that intention, the intention is different now. And that it becomes part of bhakti. And under the guidance now, again, there'll be a lot of questions like 2-3 devotees asked. But what if I get taken advantage of? But what? But this? Because these things can be very hard to execute. We have been conditioned to live the life of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, even in our previous lives as animals. That is our conditioning. So it's not easy to give it up. Therefore, constant guidance of Guru is needed. And Guru just does not mean Diksha Guru. There are so many kinds of Gurus. But we must execute it under proper guidance. And this kind of effort will attract the mercy of Bhagawan. Now, it doesn't mean Bhagawan will give mercy conditionally. It does not also mean mercy is conditional, because mercy by definition is unconditional. Okay? But it attracts means then we are able to accept it. Now, this is a deeper concept. What is the meaning of accepting mercy? So we will go into it some other time, but then the mercy actually enters the heart. You can think of it like, then you open the door. Mercy is there, you open the door, then it enters. We have shut it out. No, mercy is there, we say no thank you. Like Joe Biden's letter is coming, you are pardoned. We say, I declined. I want to stay in jail. That would be foolish, but that's how we are foolish. So pure devotees come to give the message, and we hear, but we don't hear. सुनकर भी अनसुना कर देते हैं. All right. Last two verses. Okay, so these are the learnings from the 7.28, very important verse. 29 and 30, and we will end it there. जरा मरण मोक्षाय माम आश्रित्येतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्. Then 30th, sadhibhutadhidevam mam sadhiyajnam chaye viduhu prayāṇa-kāle picamam te vidur yukta-cetasaḥ. So that now comes the conclusion. Okay. So the conclusion, at the end of it, the conclusion is one should have good understanding of Bhagavan, and because or out of that good understanding of Bhagavan, one should do bhajan of Bhagavan. And in this particular verse, the bhajan is mainly in terms of remembering Bhagavan. That is the most basic kind of bhajan, just remembering Bhagavan. Like, for example, japa and kirtana, etc. The most simple type of bhajan is where you don't need technically anybody else or anything else. Okay. So another way, like I think about it, is a bhajan that you can do in jail. Even if you are in jail, you should be able to do bhajan. Even if your hands are tied, you are in solitary confinement. Is there any type of bhajan that you can do? Yes, you can do. So there are 5 main important limbs of bhajan: Shravana, Kirtana, then Sadhu Sangha, Murti Vigraha Archana, and Mathura or Vrindavan Vas, Dham Vas. So what can you do out of these limbs? I am saying you cannot do 4 of them in jail. Can you do Murti or Archana in jail? No, there is no Murti, there is no paraphernalia, no Arti, no Deepak. So you cannot do that. Dham Vas, you cannot do, you are in jail, you cannot go out. Sadhu Sangha, you cannot do, there is no other, you are in solitary confinement, so Sadhu Sangha not possible. And Shravan, you cannot do Shravan because there is no, nobody else to speak, or you don't even have access to a tape recorder or anything else to speak. But Kirtan, can you do Kirtan? Yes, you can do Kirtan. So among the 5 limbs, the one that can be done in even solitary confinement, and if they have told you to keep your mouth sealed, still you can do Manasik Kirtan. You can just do mental japa. even if they have put a limitation on audible speaking, let us say. So a type of bhajan, and that is why the focus here is on remembering Krishna, because that is the most fundamental. And that is the kind of bhajan, there will be a moment in your life. There will be a moment in your life when you will be in solitary confinement. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? What is that?
Death, near death.
Near death, yes. I saw my mother pass away. I was standing next to her. I could clearly see she was not able to hear what we were saying. She was not able to move her arms. She was not even able to open her eyelids. I don't know what was going on in her mind. I hope she was thinking of Krishna. I hope that. But I'm telling you, that state is almost as close to solitary confinement. And at that moment, you cannot even talk. You cannot speak anything. You cannot hear anything. Even if you are telling something in the ears, shouting, there was no response. There was no indication that she heard it. So then the only thing I hope that was working was the mind. So all of us will be in solitary confinement at one sure point in our life. Hopefully not before that, okay? But at that time, if we can remember Krishna, then we can go to Krishna. So that is what is said in these two verses. So Jara Marana Mokshaya, those who want to get moksha or get free from this cycle of old age and death, Jara Maran. Mam ashritya yatantiye. What they do? They take shelter of Krishna, which is the basic form of bhakti, and taking shelter of Krishna is a mental activity more than a physical activity. It is highly mental or in the heart. Te Brahma. Now these lines are philosophical. Te Brahma tad viduh kritsnam. They actually know me as the supreme Brahman, or they are equal to Brahman. There are two different interpretations. They know Krishna as Brahman and they are Brahman. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. In the purport, he says they are Brahman because they know Brahman. They know Krishna to be Brahman. So they are elevated to the state of Brahman. Adhyatmam karma cha akhilam. And they know the transcendental activities of Krishna. So one who takes shelter of Krishna is able to know Krishna, is able to know himself, and is able to know the activities of Krishna. And he knows that everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Sa adhibhuta adhidaivam mam. Who knows me as the, and these terms will be explained in the next chapter. Adhibhuta, adhidaiva, adhiyagyam chaye viduhu, chaye viduhu. So they know that Krishna is all these things. Now the last two lines are important. Prayāṇa-kāle. Prayāṇa-kāle means at the time of death. Okay. Prayāṇa means जाने का time आ गया. Time to go. Chalo, let's go. Yamadutas will come, or maybe Vishnudutas will come. Knock, knock. Time to go. So prayāṇa-kāle pi cha mam te viduhu yukta-cetasaḥ. At the time of such people, at the time of death, also they can continue to know me in their heart, with their heart, yukta-cetasaḥ, which means their mind is engaged on me. And through that, they can know me, means they can realize me, or they can be connected to me. And that is the most important goal of one's life. So to get out of the cycle of birth and death. Again, the cause and effect is important here. So, but here it's not such a, whether we take shelter of Krishna as a, taking shelter of Krishna is definitely the cause. The effect is that one is able to remember Krishna at the time of death. So how you lead your life will govern what consciousness you will have at the time of death. So they are able to prayāṇa-kāle pichamam te vidu yukta-cetasaḥ. Their cetasa, their mind or heart is yukta in Krishna, is engaged in Krishna. And then after that, when they open their eyes, voila, they are in the spiritual world with Krishna. So that is the essence of these last two verses. Okay, any questions? Okay, no questions. So we will end here. Next week we will have class. We will start with 8th chapter. All right, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.